I'm reporter Abby Kousouris here on scene in Summerbrook Circle in Athens, Georgia, where we do know that there was an officer-involved shooting. Now, when it comes to the information that we do know, there was a woman who was confirmed dead and another man who is in the hospital. We'll have more. Athens Mayor Nancy Denson has shown her support for decriminalization of marijuana, but not on the local level, on the state level. Now, I'm Abby Kousouris here watching the football practice at Clark Central High School. Clark Central was one of the only Athens games this weekend. They versed North Oconee. This is all because of Hurricane Irma. They lost valuable practice time and playing time.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Her dogs usually accompany Allison Wright on this route. It's how she first became aware of this.
This one's a little bit drier. Let's see if we can get the date on this one. I mean, so the chances are all these sales are over now anyway. I can't even see the date.
Bundles of printed advertising circulars. They're supposed to be delivered to people's rights of ways, like a public sidewalk. Instead, they wind up here, on lawns, under trees, on roadways, instead of in a recycling bin. Now, normally if you found a piece of recyclable paper like this one, you could just put it in a recycling bin. However, after a period of time, paper starts to rot and smell, and people won't want to put it in a recycling bin, much less touch it. That's why last month, Wright brought a bag of the papers she had collected to the Athens Board of Commissioners meeting.
And so when I had this collection of them, I decided that I was going to just do it every month and see if I couldn't get some attention to the topic and maybe get it resolved.
Wright says she is committed to finding a fair solution, even if it means bending over backwards. Business owner Len Culbertson could have been the one.
I hate that I don't have time to go and vote.
The one vote that could have made the difference in a race where the winner won by one vote. But Culbertson was busy at his store.
Or really didn't have time to go down there.
One vote. The winner of the race understands its power.
I don't think anyone who voted for either or me or for Ms. Hembry came away thinking that their vote didn't matter.
Farmer even said his wife could have been the one, and not in a romantic way.
My wife and I, we always vote early and make a lunch date out of it. Something had come up, or if she had, had a lunch date with somebody else, I wouldn't have won.
If you still don't believe in the power of one, look at the Georgia football team. Right now they're ranked number 1, but 1 point in the game against Notre Dame could have cost them their undefeated season. Savannah Hembry, Farmer's opponent, said she decided to run last minute, but she wants people to realize
when people say my vote doesn't matter, your voice is what you're silencing then.
Callie Moore's nurses know that fashion is important to her.
Oh, we need to get a mirror and show you what you look like.
Callie Moore is an Instagram starlet, and she loves to post on Facebook.
All right, it's on Insta.
But fashion and Facebook aren't everything in Callie's life. Callie has cerebral palsy. Her life is 24-hour nursing care from people like Cassidy Dickerson. It's feeding tubes and breathing machines. And if Graham Cassidy healthcare reform passes, it could mean leaving the people who care for her.
Somebody has been providing hands-on care. Callie is the kind of person who, without home and community-based services like her nursing services, would not be able to live at home. Actually, without the medicines and the G-tube and the other medical interventions that you've had, you wouldn't be living anywhere, would you, Cal?
Nurses like Cassidy care for Callie when her mom is working to pay for medical bills.
You don't always see the impact, but when you do, it's really good to think, wow, I did something. I helped her.
U.S. senators will vote Saturday whether to approve the Graham Cassidy bill that could leave Callie and many other disabled people without necessary Medicare waivers, making it harder on the Moore family and jeopardizing Callie's fairy tale world. We reached out to Senators Johnny Isakson and David Perdue, but they did not comment. 27-year-old Nicholas Head is in ICU today after a brief shootout with an officer from Athens Clarke County. This is the body cam footage from Officer Edward Herron from the Athens Clarke County Police Department.
Mitchell, I shot off 3 rounds after he shot her. Drop the gun! He's standing over the body. Drop the gun now! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up now! He shot himself. Essentially shot himself.
It was released just a short time after the shooting. Police say Heron arrived to a home in Summerbrook Circle at 4 p.m. after a second domestic dispute call from the residents. The police say 27-year-old Nicholas Head shot his girlfriend's cousin, 28-year-old Quintavia Wade, in front of his girlfriend Courtney Williams. He then began firing at Officer Heron before shooting himself in the face. Heron did fire his weapon. Police say Officer Heron did not sustain any injuries.
Public Information Officer Epifanio Rodriguez of the Athens-Clarke County Police Department says that Head is supposed to recover, and when he does, he will be facing charges for murder and domestic dispute. Grady News Source will keep you updated. Make sure to check our website. I'm outside of the Athens-Clarke County Police Department, where earlier today, Grady News Source received information on previous incidents that Nicholas Head was involved in. Now, there were 41 total incidents on that report. What they show is that he had a history of domestic abuse and violence. These are the 41 incident reports that Grady News Source received this morning regarding Nicholas Head, a man who the Athens-Clarke County Police Department says was involved in a shooting late on Monday night. Originally, police were called to the residence on Monday early in the morning about a domestic violence dispute that turned violent later on in the day. Now, these reports in front of me show a series of investigations for domestic violence, assault, battery, and drug distribution charges.
These 41 incident reports show 33 charges that were processed by police that consider Head an offender or a suspect in a crime. The last of these reports is from Monday night's shooting. Head has been accused of assault and or battery from 3 previous women that say they were dating or involved with Head. These incident reports also show that he has been a victim of simple battery.
Head is currently being treated at the Athens Regional Piedmont Hospital. Police do expect that he will recover, and when he does, he will face charges on domestic violence and murder.
Trumpet player Joel Garcia will be playing a different tune at the UGA Kentucky game, the Battle Hymn of the Bulldog Nation. I met Garcia at the Redcoat Band's practice field, where he feels comfortable playing his trumpet.
Honestly, it's really scary trying to be that idol, but also at the same time, it's one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done, to know that I'm up there playing something that's been passed on for many, many years. It's just a tradition, and being part of that great tradition just makes me feel like I'm contributing to the Bulldog Nation.
This will be Garcia's 5th time playing in Sanford Stadium. He says he deals with the pressure by wearing sunglasses and closing his eyes. Now, until the Kentucky game on November 18th, Garcia will have time to catch his breath. Abby Kousouris, Grady News Source.
John
Knox, geography professor at the University of Georgia, spends his free time tracking where Hurricane Irma is headed. He says there's a chance the storm could greatly affect the state of Georgia.
The projections are if the major hurricane hit the coast of Georgia, that I-95 would be underwater, escape routes would be very limited, and there could be considerable property damage and potentially even loss of life.
Professor Knox has some advice for people who are beginning to panic.
And so listen to what the authorities say, take cover when they say take cover. Don't go out and buy a whole lot of water and bread and eggs and whatever. This is not a time to make French toast. This is a time to pay attention to what the authorities say. And then if there are evacuations, follow the evacuation routes.
Professor Knox says that for those with family in southeast Georgia, you need to look into evacuation routes, just in case they're called to evacuate and want to visit you here